If you know my channel, you know I like Batman too much, and you probably know that I like the Arkham games a little too much. I've kind of accepted this. Arkham Asylum this, Arkham Asylum that. I will lay off this game for a while, but I want to introduce this series to my audience because I won't just be talking about Batman stuff on here.
Josh, listen, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a about Arkham Asylum anymore. It's over. You're a broken record. You're a fucking product. I don't give a fuck about a game that came out in 2009. I'm done. It's over. It's been done. Leave it be.
As you might tell, YouTube is not a big fan of creators with like very sporadic interest who spend countless hours on series and won't even finish half of them. Speaking of issues, I wrote down a few criticisms of past videos. Let's see here. Speak faster. Stop speaking like a zombie. Stop being so dead sounding. Stop sounding like you're sick or something. It's pronounced Joaquin Phoenix, not Hawking. Anyways, I also feel like to be successful on YouTube, you have to be funny. So, like, here's a few Vine boom sound effects. Anyways, this series is supposed to be shorter and more frequent, hopefully. I've already failed at making it not as detailed, but bear with me. It's just supposed to be a neat little video to eat a snack to and learn some nostalgic level design stuff. It's something I would watch at least. Alright, subscribe, all that stuff, and let's return to Arkham Asylum for the 100th time. Backtracking. I'm sure you've heard of it and maybe experienced it before, especially in older games. For example, I remember playing through Halo CE and exiting a door to the same snowy cavern I already walked through 2 levels earlier. I've heard some people defend that choice to reuse almost an entire level over again, and personally, I don't buy much of it. Not enough changed gameplay or atmosphere-wise to really justify it to me. I know the flood was there, but it was just too much of the same thing. Especially after just coming out of one of the most dreadful levels in all of the original trilogy. That level called The Library already showed a desperation by Bungie to make the experience longer by literally copying and pasting the same set piece 4 times and having you fight the same enemies over and over. So when I stepped out into that snowy cavern for the second time, I thought to myself, yeah, they absolutely ran out of time here.
And that's why this level pisses me off so much, is because it's the same level that I just played. It's the last level I played. Only you're going in reverse now. The creativity they thought they put into this game. So creative.
Now, just like the half-hour video essay I watched where this dude 180s into a discussion about this furry fanfiction game that really inspires his music, you're probably asking, what does this have to do with Arkham Asylum? Almost every level in this game has some degree of backtracking, but unlike Combat Evolved, this technique adds a lot to the game most of the time, and it's very common in games, but kind of like good filmmaking, the better you do it, the less you notice of it. Arkham Asylum is meant to feel like somewhat like a realistic location. At least it follows some kind of in-universe logic. If you really look into it like that one 4-hour video essay about it, it kind of falls apart, but it's supposed to have an in-universe logic. It feels lived in. There's offices and stuff. This place feels like it bleeds history. Deliberately, the interiors of locations are designed simultaneously to feel like a real location, but also to facilitate gameplay. Much of the interiors have hallways that branch out from a central point, which is realistically how buildings are designed, obviously, but it means that the player has to turn around a lot in these levels. When you really break it down, these locations are not necessarily massive, but the design of them, the gameplay you do in them, slows down the pacing by introducing obstacles and basically making you backtrack. In this way, Batman Arkham Asylum is stretching its runtime out tons with these small choices that add up so much over time, but it's done very naturally, unlike Combat Evolved. There's a level in this game that kind of plays with backtracking the most, and it does it in a very interesting way. A level that connects pretty much every part of the island. Under Arkham Asylum is a maze of intersecting sewers, catacombs, foundations. Batman is forced multiple times to enter this level, mainly to reach the Batcave at different points in the story. The underworld of Arkham is designed like a railroad system, a set of tracks crossing over each other and escaping in different directions. And when the points in the story are triggered, a track is merged into another, unlocking a new area of this existing level. The first time you enter the Batcave, you do so through the cave entrance, but to exit, you are forced to enter the sewer system and the catacombs area. You'll notice a door in the sewers you can't use yet, and then once you climb your way through the catacombs, you'll notice a gap to another section you just can't reach yet. It's just a little too far away. It's quite obvious you're supposed to reach it because there's literally a Riddler trophy right on the ledge, basically taunting you. Here, the game isn't hiding that this level is using backtracking. It's actually enticing the player to return themselves by creating an opportunity for the player to ask questions. Mystery, the player's imagination will always create excitement and motivation beyond the actual elements shown on screen. Once these secrets are uncovered, it's like solving a puzzle. And if you introduce these puzzles early in the game, the player is further motivated to keep playing to solve it later. There are multiple points in this large level that have like aha moments where you uncover a connection you previously wondered about or had no idea existed in the first place. When you have to return to the Batcave for the second time, you realize what the door from the beginning of the game actually led to. Then, once the cave is destroyed, the game presents an entirely new area that's unlike any other part of the map. By this point, a new player might be wondering what this mysterious building is that appears high up in Arkham West and this new area that is uncovered. Subsequently, this outside zone then connects back into the sewers from a cave you could have never noticed beforehand. Already, there have been multiple twists and turns in this place, but it's not over. Now your goal is to reach the pumping stations, so you backtrack through the sewers and then up the same catacombs again that you parkoured through and discover the answer to a lingering question throughout most of the game. How the hell do I jump this gap? With the subconscious training from other obstacles in the game, you immediately understand something you had no idea before. Crossing this gap is as simple as a line launch. Finally, you've reached the top of this room you've been in likely a few times before, and now you enter a new location that has even more branching paths. Eventually, you'll be gasping for a chance to get out of the Arkham sewers. The moonlight seeping into this elevator shaft is basically teasing you of the outside world again. Upon your exit to Arkham West, the final puzzle is solved. You've now entered every single building on Arkham Island, including this mysterious one. What this intermediate level of Arkham shows to me is like the sheer amount of possibilities there are for level design for a single game plot. This entire section of Arkham could have been done entirely differently. They could have followed the same story but made these routes completely separate from each other without hinting at future areas at all, like in the case of the Riddler trophy. The execution of how a plot is led through level design is insanely important, and I can't stress that enough. There are countless ways to create a level for the same story beat. There's countless small decisions within development that further define this unique direction for portraying the same plot. I can promise that the script of Arkham Asylum does not go into detail about all the little obstacles that Batman has to go through in each little level of the game, and it likely doesn't provide an exact layout for Arkham's map either. The script is basically a vague tool that is used in a very rapidly changing developmental process that will be interpreted in a multitude of ways, and only one of those ways will actually be published. Only one of those ways you will actually see and then judge and analyze. Think of the multiverse concept that's like in every freaking movie now. All the small little decisions level designers make add up to an exponentially unique outcome compared to other alternative decisions that could have been made anywhere in development. Understanding how the execution of a level went wrong means almost envisioning alternate realities in which it went right. When you think about a bad level from any game, it never comes down to one thing. Analyzing what makes a level great requires an understanding of how complicated, how collaborative and improvised development of video games are. It's not enough to say the story is weak or the gameplay is boring. It's never that simple with games. The quality of a game comes down to the multitude of different elements and mediums all combining into one seriously complicated experience.